Okay, sorry about this light. Let me change it. Although I kind of want to keep it because it's going to irritate me, so I won't take too much time to do this because they've been too long and it doesn't need to be that drawn out. So just keeping on my history project, read through what was really poignant to me yesterday again. So talking about the Royal Society not expelling members in World War I and World War II, and being the first body to reestablish relationships, before and after both. And the book didn't say before. I'm going to tell you why the before is obvious in the context of their own history. Yeah. So, I have light sensitivity. So that light really is just going to make this video go faster. Okay, so talking about them also, the other point, no, I'll change it. Sorry. So also talking about their other point, which was, or Bill Brinson, the author of Seeing Further, the other point he had about the society having, quote, an uncanny knack for finding their future members. And it's like, yeah, stalking children when they're inquisitive. That's how you know, like when a child can look at something, see how it moves, and then build it, that's usually a sign that they're going to be able to innovate something. And so, because that was a theory that I had, I was like, well, because they were kind of saying it, they were like, before their undergrad, it's like, okay, so when they were kids, or before their PhD, 10 years before their PhD, it's like, again, so when they were minors, although at the time, obviously, kids were working way younger than, 18, 16, yeah, if you were a kid, you were working, so definitely a better job in that era, and I'm not going to jump to what I think it looks like today, but I reread, and this time I got stuck on the paragraph about Napoleon, and there was this man named Henry or Harvey Darby. I'm going to look up his name, because Harvey Darby would sound too silly and I'd remember it. It was Humphrey Davy. So during the Napoleonic Wars, Humphrey Davy was able to travel on scientific business across Europe thanks to a letter of dispensation from Napoleon that he carried in his pocket. I don't know French, so I'll try my best. The Society of Philanthropy gave him a dinner in Paris and drank to the health of the Royal Society, if not the king. In like spirit, the society refused to expel, and then the quote about them always actually working with enemy nations. Sorry, them not always, but mostly. Yeah, no, mostly. Which is just so brilliant. Again, cheers to Charles II, who chartered the Royal Society, a nation within a nation, the most mobile group, 350 years old, that control, or have not control so much anymore, and I'll levy that they've definitely fallen from their peak. Um, but the way the author is narrating this whole thing, which is why I have to stop, because he's narrating like, oh my gosh, their motive was they were just so good that the enemy and the non-enemy were both their friends, because that's how good they are. And maybe he does change his tone in later chapters, talking about human experimentation with the Royal Society. He does talk about this Irish guy in 1927 who studied crystals, major crystals mathematician, and he was a Marxist. I just had a little note and then I'm done. I'm done with this part of my project. Only to come back to it and edit it later. So, and then it became clear to me this morning reading it, is that this is probably what it actually looked like. Because King Charles, we're 700 years into England. We've been doing warfare since we were children, and our grandparents had, and so we were being born and bred into warfare. So you'd be taught strategy, you'd be thinking strategy, and so thinking like King Charles II, I'm like, oh my God. So he is giving these people, he is giving signs. So it is rooted in good, because he does want to solve problems, but this is still like the brilliance of it is you could notice as things develop, kind of where you need to be technologically. And so for a while, I think it makes sense that the aristocracy within the Royal Society would be controlling the other members coming in, because if it's going to affect the land you own, you're going to want to know what technology is going to change the landscape and everything else around you. And so the society had to have a lot of these discoveries that are published as being from the Royal Society, from like this linen manufacturer. And again, that gives you a scapegoat. So this linen manufacturer from Van Ludwig, 1702, about the time of Bayes' theorem, 1701, or that's his birth, I'm sorry, but around the same time, sort of, and he points out multiple times so far that Bayes' theorem, so like this calculus for statistics and probability, wouldn't be published, because he never wanted it published, and then a friend of his, after he died, published it, and then they keep saying, oh, and it wasn't used for another 250 years. No, it was used when it was invented, of course. And so it would have been like probably to predict behavior through the Industrial Revolution. And so yeah, I'm glad I'm starting this now, because it's going to take a long time. And yeah, and I'm going to probably start my project later anyway. So yeah, that is all. And just, it's been a quote on the internet, so I will join, because it is mostly true. in war, there is no such thing as coincidence. So just to be like, oh, and this guy just happened to invent what we hoped he would invent. Is there had to have been the knowledge before? So they probably have so much like private theory, because again, you want to be controlling those trade routes. You want to be controlling the future of trade and war, and that's how you maintain stability. So it is understandable, but also power, because like I said, they fell, and then like bad scientists don't want to give up their prestige, or mostly that. And so thank you, and this is just the next part of my project, and